Okay, good morning. I'm going to call to order the Perimeter Park West Incorporated Annual Shareholders Meeting, and we're going to begin with a legal public statement.
Yes, sir. For the record, I want to note that this is the annual shareholders meeting for Perimeter Park West. This meeting is being broadcast via video teleconference pursuant to Kentucky Revised Statute Section 61.826 and may be viewed by the public at the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority offices located at 1260 Louisville Road, Frankfort, Kentucky. It is also being broadcast to the public via Facebook. I ask if you are speaking and not appearing by video, please identify yourself before talking. In the event the video or audio broadcast is interrupted, we will attempt to reestablish a connection. If a connection cannot be reestablished within 30 minutes, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled to another date.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Mr. Piercy,
Here.
Ms. Hampton,
Here.
and Mr. Powell.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. So we have the next three agenda items are canvassing the vote, counting the shareholders' vote, and accepting the results. Now we have in board books letters from Steve Willer to the board secretary, Sherry Rankin. He sent these letters on behalf of both the C and the K boards, and they each nominate myself, Lynn Hampton, and Jerry Powell for the PPW Board of Directors for the upcoming year. So I don't think we need, I think we can all see those. I think the only thing we need to do is seek a motion to accept those results.
So moved.
Oh, second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. And we've just completed the quickest meeting of the year, as that's the only agenda item. So I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and we are going to roll straight on into the PPW. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking that we have minutes to approve, but that's in the next meeting. So,
That's
okay.
right. Correct.
Okay.
So we're going to roll straight on into the PPW Incorporated Annual Board of Directors meeting. Do we need to do the legal public statement again, Vicki?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For the record, I want to note that this is a special meeting of the annual meeting of the Board of Directors for Perimeter Park West. This meeting is being broadcast via video teleconference pursuant to Kentucky Revised Statute Section 61.826 and may be viewed by the public at the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority offices located at 1260 Louisville Road, Frankfort, Kentucky. It is also being broadcast to the public via Facebook. I ask if you are speaking and not appearing by video, please identify yourself before talking. In the event the video or audio broadcast is interrupted, we will attempt to reestablish a connection. If a connection cannot be reestablished within 30 minutes, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled to another date.
Okay. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Mr. Piercy,
Here.
Ms. Hampton,
Here,
and Mr. Powell.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. First up is Vicki to review the actions of the PPW shareholders meeting.
Yes, the shareholders meeting was just held, and I am pleased to announce that Mr. Piercy, Ms. Hampton, and Mr. Powell were reelected to the board as directors.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? Okay.
I want
Thanks.
to just say, I'm sorry,
Okay.
Katie. I want to
No, go ahead.
we appreciate you guys. The agents of PPW appreciate the directors of PPW and what you guys do and how quickly you do it. We appreciate it.
All right. Anything else? Okay, we're going to move on now to the election of president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary for the new board year. Are there any nominations for president of PPW?
I nominate
Mr. Piercy.
Keith. Yeah, second.
Okay, any other nominations? And is there a motion to approve?
So
Motion.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And now I'll look for nominations for vice president of PPW.
I nominate Ms. Hampton.
And I'll second that. Any further nominations? Seek a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. I'll now seek nominations for treasurer of PPW.
if I'm not mistaken, or the secretary has been Sherry and Jerry has been the treasurer. Is that correct?
That's right, yes.
So I nominate Jerry.
And I will second that. Any further nominations? All right, I'll seek a motion to approve Jerry to be treasurer.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And our final is seek nomination for secretary of PPW.
Madam Rankin for secretary.
And I second that. We don't give her a chance to say no, okay?
Exactly.
Any further nominations? All right, all those in favor of Sherry being secretary of PPW, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries, and I think we have finished our elections for the board year. All right, next item up is the approval of minutes from the February 13th meeting, and I'll seek a motion.
Motion to approve is written.
Second,
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. And now we're up to the PPW internal control audit, and we have some Dean Dorton folks with us.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jim Tenza. I'm assuming everyone can hear me okay? Yep. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I'm a director of assurance services with Dean Dorton and have about 34 years of experience, 19 with Big Four type firms and 15 with Dean Dorton. I'm a CPA and a certified internal auditor, and I lead the internal audit services for Dean Dorton. For those who are not aware, Dean Dorton is the largest public accounting firm in Kentucky. We have about 540 people with offices in Louisville, Lexington, and Fort Wright. We also have offices in Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Raleigh. And we're a leader of auditing nonprofits and government agencies. And we're also a leader in the area of internal audit services, and we provide internal control audit services to a wide range of organizations. So glad to be with you this morning. Curtis Applebaum's with us here today. He performed a great deal of the work, so he's here. We were hired in, Dean Dorton was, in the fall of this past year, and we went through a proposal process that you're all probably aware of. And after we were engaged to do the work, we did most of the work starting in the fall. And our procedures consisted of reviewing the existing PPW policies and procedures. So we obtained those and read those. We also interviewed people, and we actually did a walkthrough of the various procedures and controls. We reviewed the prior internal audit assessments that were performed back in 2019 and 20, and the subsequent follow-up on those and the remediation of any findings from there. And then we reviewed really all of the transactions in 2023, and we tested a sample of those transactions to verify the existing controls are operating as intended. So we've submitted a draft of our report here. I'm not sure if everyone had a chance to review those. We put it in draft form, and until we had this meeting here to talk through it with you all. I'll just give you kind of the high level overview, which was, we believe the policies, procedures and internal controls for PPW are appropriate and effective and working properly. We did not find any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. We did have a couple of minor findings or recommendations, and we've outlined those in the report. Management has agreed with those findings. They actually provided responses to our findings and recommendations and have already made changes to address those.
Excuse me, Jim.
Yes.
This is page 12 of board books.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted her to catch up. No problem, Jim. Thank you.
So, so our findings were addressed by management. They've made changes. We've looked at those, and we do think those changes are appropriate. But really, our minor findings here, this one, I'm just going to touch on each of them just briefly, and then I'll answer any questions you all may have. So this one here, we did, review all of the month-end reconciliations, and we noted that they're all done properly, and really there was just some missing sign-offs or initials by the preparer and reviewer, even though we were able to verify, through email and communication that they were reviewed and approved, and everything did reconcile properly. So really our recommendation was just having a more, formal sign-off on those and dating to make sure it's crystal clear that they were reviewed and approved. The next, and that was really the main finding. And again, we don't consider that to be, major by any imagination. It's, things were working effectively, and that's pretty minor. These other ones, we find these lower risk findings, and the first one having to do with whistleblower complaints. There is a good process in place for people to report anything if there were something. But really it was just allowing people to report any complaints directly to an agent. And so we recommended to make it a little bit easier to allow for a way for complaints to be submitted electronically. And the second one here was on the financial statements. PPW's financial statements are prepared by an external party. And again, it was all, properly prepared and reviewed. But there was no detail of how the review was noted, or there wasn't clear documentation of sign off that it had been reviewed. And again, PPW has revised their policies and procedures to make it crystal clear that they have been reviewed. And then lastly, on invoices, there's not a way the policies that we were looking at did not require a date received to be included on the invoice. And we recommended to include that. So it's, again, crystal clear of when it was received for tracking purposes. And so those changes have already been made. So you can see from those findings, nothing serious, nothing significant. And again, we do feel the policies, procedures, and controls in place are appropriate and effective. So with that, I will stop here and be glad to answer any questions anyone may have.
Directors, I'd like to remind you that we decided to do this control audit last fall. There was a lot of discussion about whether we wanted to do a control audit every time. The audits in 19 and 20 were a great deal closer to control audits. Well, they were control audits, and we hadn't had a follow-up from them. And so we wanted to do a follow-up. Jones Neal Mattingly still does the financial audit every year. This is a separate and independent from that kind of audit, specifically looking at, do we have the appropriate controls in place as an entity? So these are the results of that audit, just reminding you of where we are here. The next page, Sherry, is the management responses.
Okay, questions or comments for Dean Dorton?
Yeah, I'll ask a question. This is John Chilton. How you doing, Jim?
Good. How are you, John?
Good. Say, are the procedures for PPW in a written form, and is the written document adequate to describe everything?
The answer to both are yes. They do have things written out, and they are appropriate. And you can see, I think, some of them here, if you scroll down a little bit further, I think you can get an example of those are the actual reconciliations, but there's actual policies here. This procedure, for example, on the financial statements is written, exactly what they're doing and what they're reviewing. So this is an example of how those are documented.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Jim, does that wrap it up for you?
It does. So we will, I don't know if you all need to approve. This report is just in draft form. And we will, officially issue it here this afternoon and get you the final version. So I don't know if you all need to officially approve that or not, but again, just.
We do. I'm
Okay.
actually gonna seek a motion to accept the internal control audit as presented.
I'll make that motion, Keith.
I second it.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. So thank you very much, Jim.
Okay. Thank you all.
Jim, thank you for doing this. It is good to do this and builds confidence in, we're not there all the time, and we know we have a great staff, but I like having something independent. So thank you very much, you and your staff.
Yep.
Staff
You're very,
appreciates that too.
yeah, you're very, very welcome. And we do, applaud you for doing this. I think this is a good step. Obviously the financial statement audit is good to verify the numbers, but to actually go in and look at the controls, I think this is a worthwhile thing that you all do. So good job.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to a review of PPW policies. I think Rebecca's going to take this.
Morning. This is, we do this every year. There are, I'm counting, nine policies that are approved. We want you to have an opportunity every year to look at them and have any changes that you would like. The only change that the agents are requesting is in the leasing policy. The leasing policy to this point has required that we review the lease every 2 years at a minimum. It has not changed significantly in several years. And so we're saying, let's review it as needed and otherwise renew automatically. It already renews automatically, but we were saying to review every 2 years.
Rebecca,
Yes.
just so we don't forget about it, I'd like to say something like we review it every 5 years or 10 years or something like that, rather than not a review.
Okay.
And I understand what you're saying, but the other side of it is, you do, sometimes you say, oh, well, we're doing something a little different.
Okay. No, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with Lynn. I think 10 years is too much, somewhere in the 4 and 5 neighborhood,
Yeah.
because we've actually made in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, quite a number of changes to the leasing procedures, such
Yes,
as say
you did.
reducing the amount. So I think that's 2 years is maybe make it a little more too much work for the agents, but review of 4 or 5 years, I still think it needs to put in there just to make sure it don't fall between the cracks.
Okay. So can we have it say lease agreements will be reviewed every 4 or 5 years, whichever you want, at a minimum, and
5.
okay,
Go
every
for
5
5.
years,
5.
and will otherwise renew automatically. Is that acceptable to you guys?
Should you state
ma'am.
beginning with some date?
Are we-
Well, we have a date that was last reviewed. I've forgotten when the last addendum was. I looked at that recently, but I can't remember what it is now. I believe it may have been 21, 22, somewhere in there. Looks like Vicky's looking for us.
I'd say, I think it was like 22 probably, since that's why it's come up.
So that
This
would
would put
make
it
it
at the 2 year.
27, or do you want to move it out
It's
to
27, I think.
Well, then let's do 5 years since the last
Yeah.
time it was
Yeah.
signed. The last time the addendum went. Is that acceptable?
And then every 5 years thereafter.
Okay, we'll figure out that date and add that in here. Otherwise, we had no requested changes. Do you have any requested changes for us?
I'm good.
I'm good too. So
Yeah,
you'll bring
okay.
that, we don't vote on that now, Rebecca, you bring it back to us, or?
You can vote on it now if you agree on the language that has just been worded. You can just do a motion to approve the policy as amended or as proposed, whichever language you wish. Or if you wish to see it before you vote on it, you can ask Rebecca to bring it back to the next meeting and so that you can see it.
How about I tentatively approve it pending review at the next scheduled meeting of PPW?
Yeah, I like that one. Sure.
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
What was the motion? We're tentatively approving it.
Yes. So it could be, and then reviewed at the next scheduled regular meeting of the PPW.
Okay, all right. Rebecca, are you clear on the language?
I think I am, yes. That
Okay.
we want it to say lease agreements will be reviewed every 5 years, beginning with whatever date we're going to find out 5 years from the last signing. And then otherwise we'll renew automatically.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that way, if there's something we can need to adjust the date, that's the way I was thinking about it. When the next review is, we can do it at that time, and this just gets the language down.
And just for your knowledge, the last amendment was April 1st of 2021.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. I think that's it, isn't it, Rebecca?
Yes,
I
thank you.
have a question on what, did we review this in 2023 when we looked at all the other procedures?
I did not go back and look. I am not sure.
I mean, if we reviewed it in 2023, that would make it 2028.
Yeah.
I will check that and make sure. When's the last time we looked at it?
Okay.
For
And
some
that's a
reason,
comment.
that's the only one that I didn't electronically sign, and I don't really have an explanation for that. Either I didn't get it or I skipped over it somehow. I don't know. Okay,
I'm sorry, Keith, I think you did sign it. We didn't load the signed version
okay, all right.
because I audited. You signed PDF versions and I needed a Word version.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Okay, we're up to the update on building maintenance projects. Ann, are you taking that?
Yes, that's me. Okay, so basically we had completion of the escape door room, the renovation to the reception area that's been completed. Once that was completed, we were able to install the carpet, which was the last little bit of the carpet project. So both of those have been completed and are looking great. I'm really happy with it. Maybe you guys can come in sometime and check it out. We have a list here of just the normal business stuff that's been going on. We're still doing the cleanings, the HVAC inspections. We don't have any upcoming projects that we know of right now, so I did not list any. I'm sure we will in the next fiscal year, but we've been working on wrapping up this year. So what's going on in May is basically, the fire extinguisher, checking all the annual systems and making sure everything's done and wrapping up this year. So does anyone have any questions on the maintenance of the buildings?
Looks like everybody's good.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Is that it, Ann?
that's it.
Okay. Next item is update on contracts. I think Connie's taking this.
Good morning. Yes. At the last meeting, we brought the external audit contract, the financial statement audit contract to you. Jones Now Mattingly was the sole bidder, and they provided a fee for fiscal year 2024, and we were requested to go back in and get amounts for 25, 26, and 27, which I did, and Jones Now Mattingly submitted the amounts for 25, 26, and 27. The amount for 2024 is the same that was approved by the board members in the February meeting. And the recommendation that we have for the board is to approve the contract amounts that they provided for 25, 26, and 27. And it is approximately a 3% increase for each year. The amounts are 14,200, 14,750, and 15,200 respectively for those years.
Okay, questions or comments?
Question. Well, first place, I think that's reasonable. But is there some reason that we don't do a bid for both the KPPA audit and combined with a, so that the same firm would do both? Is there some reason we don't do that?
Are you asking, is there a reason that we don't combine the KPPA audit and the PPW audit?
In a bid. Now, I'm not talking about combining them, but I'm saying that take, Procter Gamble uses the same company doc.
Several
Yeah.
reasons. We did do that in the past. We didn't get any better pricing, particularly. There's an issue with keeping things separate. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jerry, if you.
That was what I was going to say, was it was part of making sure that we're independent of KPPA to ensure that, and that's why we, like Rebecca said, we did do it previously, and it just we preferred after quite a bit of discussion, we decided that go with the independent, because it was kind of like the PPW audit was very second fiddle. It didn't necessarily get our money's worth out of it, and so we went separately.
Okay. And Rebecca said that there wasn't a monetary difference.
There was not. In fact, I think I'd have to go back and look, but it was either really close or it was cheaper to do it on our own at the beginning. But I'd have to go back and confirm that for sure.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, anything else? If not, I will seek a motion to award the external financial statement audit contract for a period of 4 years to Jones, Nail, and Mattingly at the rates provided.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. And Connie, we have the bookkeeping contract, I think, next.
Yes. The bookkeeping contract is with Harridan Associates. We are looking to expand, it had a 1-year extension, and we'd like to expand it to 2 years in line with our 4-year contract policy. I've asked Harridan Associates to provide a new monthly rate, and they provided $325 at an 8% increase from $300 a month for the next 2 years with an annual fee of $3,900. We would ask the board to approve the contract extension with Harridan Associates. to February 28th, 2026 at an annual fee of $3,900 for each year.
Okay,
I'll make a
questions
motion
or
to approve
comments?
that.
Was that a motion, Jerry? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. And the final contract is the water and ice dispenser.
Yeah, and that's me. So we have a recommendation for a contract to replace the office H2O, which is expiring in June. We did get 3 bids just to see what our options were, and then also investigated how much it would cost to go around both buildings, replacing the water fountains and the ice machines that we had a long time ago, just to see, bring everything to you. After researching, we do feel that the Office H2O, which is our current vendor, would be the best option for us as we go forward. A lot of that was the price has remained the same since when we signed in 2019, and they did not ask for any additional, includes maintenance, filters. If something breaks down, they will come and bring us a brand new machine. So that's where we are. We're making that recommendation to the board.
There has been some discussion about the water fountains because as the people who own the property, the only requirement that we have is that we have potable water available to our tenants. As if I'm take off my PPW hat and put on my KBPA hat, I would also say we've had ice in this building for 20 years. And as the person with the lease, I would like you to keep up the ice since we've had it for that long. So we did that, which is what Ann was talking about. We looked at those prices, and this one just seemed like in the long run comparable, if not as good a deal. So this is what I would recommend for you guys, but it's up to you all.
I think
So
it's
we're not
actually a
making any
better deal.
changes. Yeah, we're not making any changes, or you're adding.
We discussed reducing it by, instead of 5 units, which is what we've had since 2019, to reduce it down to 4 units total. And I think that's justifiable because we have less people in the offices using it every day. So it actually would per year be less than it's been since 2019.
I think it's a good deal based on the price of the other bids, and it's even better because it has an increase like everything else has.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. I'll seek a motion to award the water and ice dispenser contract to H2O as presented.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries, and I think that does it for contracts, correct?
That's it for me. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Review of financial statements for the quarter that ended March 31st. Liz and Connie are both down for that.
Good morning. I'll be presenting the financial statements as prepared by Harrod and Associates for the quarter ending March 31st, 2024. Our first statement in the packet from Harrod is the statement of liabilities, assets, liabilities, and net assets. We're currently sitting with just over 6 million in total assets. Our next statement is the statement of revenues and expenses, or the income statement. And we'll focus on the third set of columns for the 9 months ended March 31st, 2024. Our total revenues are on track with what we anticipated at 747,000, with total expenses on the next page, operating expenses of 519,000, with our net income or increase in net assets at 228,288.41. And then finally, the last statement they prepare for us is the statement of cash flows for the 9 months ended March 31st. And we have ended our quarter with 839,225. These are for informational purposes only, but I'll entertain any questions you might have.
Okay, anything on that topic? And if not,
Just,
we'll
I,
move.
I do have a
I'm sorry.
question. This maybe is to Steve, if he's still on. Do we actually figure out a sort of a ROI on this?
You know, we do, we calculate a return based on the market value information that we have. But that's one of the things we've talked about on the investment side is doing more valuing as an investment and how we might approach that, which could be obviously different than what we're being provided here. But there is performance information that is provided that is part of the performance for all of the funds, and their ownership allocation is included in the monthly performance and the quarterly performance that we provide.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I mean, it seems like a good thing to do, but I've just never looked at it as, ROI. What is a return on the investment?
Yeah, you know, we and again, I think how it's been treated from the investment side specifically, and I won't speak to anywhere else in KPPA, but it hasn't always necessarily been treated as an investment historically. I think that the decision to change that and treat it as an investment line item was made a little while ago, and I think that was appropriate. And I think going forward, we should be able to provide additional information on how it is performed as an investment.
Thanks.
Sure.
Okay, anything else? If not, we will move on to the dividend distribution.
And I'll speak on that as well. That was a nice transition from the statements provided to our intent to issue our dividend payment at the end of the year. This is the same exact procedure we performed last year. We present this to you in accordance with our policies, that after our June 30 bank statements have been received, reconciled, and reviewed, we will prepare the amount in excess of $500,000 combined of the PPW accounts. We will prepare the dividend distribution, send it to Jerry for review and approval, and then we will execute the wire from Community Trust Bank to Bank of BNY Mellon.
BNY.
Yeah, and right now we are on track unless spending goes outside of anticipated. It will be close to what we paid last year, in the upper 300,000 or 400,000 would be my guess. But we just seek your approval today to follow our policies that have been approved to pay this distribution without the board having to meet again before the distribution takes place.
Okay. Questions or comments? I'll seek a motion to authorize the payment of dividends to the shareholders as presented.
Make that motion, and as I think Connie said, consistent with policy.
And I'm gonna abstain from making a motion because I'm the one that signs it, so.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And Jerry abstains and the motion carries. Okay, budget to actual is our next item up on the agenda, and Liz and Connie are on the schedule for that as well.
I'll keep on talking. This spreadsheet gets a little harder to read as the year progresses, but we have more detailed data of our spending. It's, we are on track in most categories with adjustments made for our upcoming budget for the things that we have ended up being over budget on so far. One of our, things to mention, we have adjusted for our property and liability insurance. We increased our coverage this year. That's the reason we are over budget slightly this fiscal year. Down in our repairs and maintenance, we are slightly over budget in a couple of categories, the biggest being the generator services and maintenance category, which we spoke about last quarter. That was an unforeseen repair that needed to be made, but I think Ann stressed last time we have a very good system now with a lot of new parts. So all in all, we are on track to come in under budget. Does anyone have any questions concerning any specific line items?
No questions. I just want to point out that, our cash has generated almost $26,000 so far this year. So we are getting a nice yield, and it's not just sitting around earning nothing.
Right. And that's due to the money market account, as I'm sure all three of you are aware, but we keep a minimal amount in our operating account. Once that balance drops below 75,000, we do an operational transfer. So we try to keep the money market account, keep only the necessary funds in the operational account, and the bulk of our money remains in the money market account until we do the dividend distribution at the end of the year.
Yep.
Which should help with that ROI we was just talking about. And I think, I think that's really remarkable that we did stay within budget, considering we did go over in some areas, particularly like was discussed, the generator, which was desperately needed, and a very good job for everybody.
Donnie and Han, keep the expenses under control. They're to be commended.
Yes, they are. All the agents are, for the work that they do.
Thank you. That again is just for informational purposes.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will move on to the FY25 budget. And Rebecca, are you going to take that?
Yes. So we provided for you go to the next page, please, Sherry. The yellow columns are actual spending in 21, 22, and 23. The green column is the budget for 24, and what we're asking you to look at is the far left blue column. That's proposed budget for 25. Most of the amounts are pretty similar. Let me go through a couple of issues. Going down to 7,200. Management and administration, we spend a little bit more on that insight valuation. But non-management expenses, we're going to keep it at 5,000. Board per diems. Now I cannot remember. Why did we not have fiscal 24 any actual spend in board per diems? Oh, we did. We have the spend. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. So board per diems are normal. Janitorial expenses are going up, but not quite as much as we had anticipated last year. So we moved that amount down a little bit. That's 7,230 janitorial supplies. The next one is 7,240 maintenance supplies. This is Donnie and Ann spent a lot of time going over things, and Donnie, using his expertise, just said thermostats are aging, things are going down. So those are just our best estimates on that. 7,310 is the property management contract. We added about 2% on that one. It will come up for bid again, and I anticipate that he will ask for a raise. I do not know how much of a raise he will ask for. So I don't know if you wanted us to put anything in here or just kind of wait and see, and we can adjust it later. But we did add about 2%, which would be pretty low. I suspect he may ask for more than that. He has not had a raise since we hired him in 2020.
Rebecca, I will add that the board per diem is a new category this year. We had just been putting it in our non-budgeted expenses, but we figured since we knew we had to pay the board for 4 quarterly meetings, we could budget for it.
That is what I was not remembering about the board per diem line. Thank you.
Mhm.
Rebecca, let me go back over. The person you're talking about is maintenance person in the,
I'm sorry, Donnie Norman. Norman Enterprises is the maintenance manager. He's here all day, every day. He's responsible to have somebody here all day, every day, and he takes care of everything. It works really closely with Ann Baker. So he's not
is
an
it an
employee.
individual?
It
It's a
is. He is an
company.
Yes.
individual. I mean, he has a company. He has an employee, but we contract with Norman Enterprises. But
Okay.
Donnie Norman is the man. He's I think he's a licensed plumber, and he's really good with a lot of things for us. He takes care of our maintenance and gets estimates for us. He gets 3 bids for us. He's the one who brings those things to Ann Baker. And
I just think,
Donnie-
you know, if it were an employee, we wouldn't wait for them to ask for a raise. We'd give them a raise.
that is correct. But we contract with him, and his
Yeah,
contract.
it's a negotiated
expires.
contract.
Okay. Well, I assume that he likes working there and he will come to you at some point, but
He
okay,
will. He and I have had a brief conversation. He just wasn't ready to give me numbers, but yeah,
okay.
When did you say his contract expires?
I believe it's the fall,
Okay,
October, November, maybe.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, and I think there might be a percentage allowed in the contract as well. I'm looking at it now, but
But he
And
didn't
not-
exercise those ever.
right, right.
So we've been paying him a flat $100,000 a year since I want to say 2020,
Right.
when he was hired.
Well, while Ann's researching that, quick question. We were talking about the thermostats and all age, and will that be a Norman Enterprises action, or would that fall under our HVAC contract?
That's under if you look at repairs and maintenance, line 74, sorry, it's moving. I lost it again. 7465 service and repairs.
Yeah.
So, you know, as something comes up, we do the maintenance and they check the belts and all the, you know, heat exchangers and all that good stuff. But then if we need an actual repair or a new thermostat, then it's on the line item. It's not under his, you know,
Okay.
his ongoing contract.
Just trying to understand where everything's going.
Right. It's separate. It's a separate budget item.
It's a HVAC is
Correct.
budget money item.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And his contract, it expires on November 15th. But I am going to look for the rate because I think it might be be listed in there.
The other changes that I want to bring to your attention are under 7,500. There's projects requested by the leasee. And that used to be more, but what we found was generally the leasee was asking for what should be a capital project. So we duplicated that now under 7,600. We left some $15,000 in case that there is some non-capital issue requested by the leasee, but most of it moved to requested by leasee under 7,600, which is capital improvements. Also, right above that, the plumbing conversion. We changed from residential toilets to commercial toilets, which is something that we should have done forever ago. But anyway, we did that a few years ago, and we have been waiting post-COVID for the microchips for those things, and waiting and waiting and waiting and repeating this item in the budget, and I am giving up. So we don't need automatic flushing toilets and the chips are still not in. So I'm just going to remove that to 0 unless you guys want us to continue to seek that. We just are not getting anywhere. And it's been 3 years waiting for it. And it's just a line item that never gets spent. So
How much was the line item?
I
was
believe it
about-
was 10.
yeah, about
Yeah.
Does that sound
$10,000.
right? Yeah.
I'm assuming the cleaning people aren't complaining.
They are not. And
Mm-mm.
Donnie's happy now. For us, it was a COVID piece. We had put in some non-touch. We were planning on putting non-touch toilet. That's the sensor that doesn't work. We put in non-touch hand sanitizers. We put in door pulls that you can pull with your feet, all of that kind of stuff during COVID. The soap dispensers got replaced this year with regular ones because they kept failing and they were expensive with the batteries so we replaced them again with
Manual.
manual
Mhm.
soap dispensers, and I'm comfortable giving up on auto flushing toilets.
Right.
But-
The main issue with the toilets and why they needed to be switched out was because they would constantly clog. For one, they were dated and also they were residential. They weren't rated for a commercial property. So the main problem was fixed by doing the conversion that we did, just updating the toilets and making it more appropriate. But this was a separate item for making them no touch, like Rebecca said.
I understand.
So we're going with the more reliable method now.
We are. It's obviously we also have fewer people in the building. So if you roll straight to the bottom there, Sherry, we are total expenses and net income. We are in line with where we've been for the last 3 years. Are
I
there
do have
any
a question.
Sure.
I don't remember, but I know when I look at Mike Lamb's spreadsheets, they're colorful. Is this color something you've been doing all along, or is it Mike Lamb's influence to make things colorful?
I do like color, but no, nobody's as good as Mike on the spreadsheets. His spreadsheets are the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that dates me. Okay.
Yes, it does. At least you didn't say that was groovy.
I'm not that, can't go that far.
Okay, is that it, Rebecca?
That is all I've got, unless you guys have other questions.
Okay,
Got
any
one
other?
question left. I see on our carpet replacement 0, so we're completely done with carpets. Unless something
Yes.
We never
And,
did the
anticipated
executive, we never did the executive area. And we have extra tiles, not enough to do the executive area. We didn't because we were talking about rearranging. It was about the same time when we were putting money to this. It was about the same time the boards had split, and where are we going to have the CEO sit, and do we want them? Are we really going to do some major rearranging up here? We haven't done any of that. I think the carpet is probably still fine. So
okay,
it is not all brand new carpet, but the rest of the building is. Everything except the
at
executive
least for
area.
this budget time, it's
Yes.
okay. Because I didn't think we'd got it all done, but I just wanted to get it clarified in my little mind. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the project as it was outlined has been done.
Okay,
And Rebecca, correct me if I'm wrong, but we purchased the carpet tiles because we wanted the same dye lot. So if it needs to be done in the future, it's only the labor.
That's correct.
Not for the executive area. We don't have enough for that. What we have is replacement lot. So we had that before the carpet that was replaced for years and years. We could just replace the really egregious issues by replacing the tiles. And then at some point they don't sell them anymore because they want you to buy new carpet. So we have a little stock of carpet so that we'll have several years of the same dye lot and the same carpet, and they can discontinue it and we'll still have some options for several years.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'll seek a motion to approve the FY25 budget as presented.
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. And now we're up to the ratification of acts of officers, directors, and agents with Liz.
Finally, sorry, you should have received via email after we reconcile and review the monthly community trust bank statements, the statements, the reconciliation, and a copy of the checks with the invoices for your review so that we don't post them, so that that information, the account information, is redacted from the board books, which are public, available to the public. So we have, as usual, just the summary of the breakdown of the monthly expenses for January, February, March 24. Does anyone have any questions? Everything presented here was done in the normal course of business, nothing that wasn't really anticipated. And if there are no questions and you all agree with everything presented, this does require your approval.
I'll make a motion that we ratify the acts of our agents for the information provided.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
Other business, Rebecca?
I wanted to talk to you guys one more time about a PPW website. There was a finding, a recommendation, a management letter recommendation from Dean Dorton this time about I'm sorry, it wasn't in the recommendation. It was in the low risk ones that said, basically for a whistleblower, we really need an anonymous way for people to give us any information to PPW. I've had a discussion with Sean Sparks about how we could do that, perhaps through a website. We had originally purposely kept PPW off of KBPA's website, but as of late, we now report them as a component unit. So PPW is a component unit of KBPA. I'm thinking that we talked about this last meeting, could have been the meeting before that. Yes, that we feel like we could do, as long as it was branded for PPW, give it a spot off of the KBPA website. So I'm getting final approval from you guys to go in and do that. I'm going to chase that with Sean Sparks, and we have a form so that we could allow people to do fraud reporting about PPW to a group, probably to, well, we'll talk about who that would need to go to. Is that an
Rebecca, you know,
auditor thing?
there are companies that will be your whistleblower company. If you're familiar with that, maybe it's worth checking out. If you're not familiar with it, I can get the name of the company and send it to you.
I am not familiar with any specific name, so if you've got a name, we can let me chase that as well. I still think there would be value in having a location that PPW could publicly provide its policies, a link to Facebook where we can everybody can watch these meetings. They're all live on Facebook as well. Probably not as detailed and historic as the KBPA ones, but the ones for PPW, something that we don't have to touch all the time, but that has a link for folks.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay.
Are you seeking a motion on that, Rebecca?
No, not particularly. I feel like we've talked about it a few times. I'm just letting you know and giving you a chance to say stop.
Okay.
I think it's a worthy project to pursue.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, is that it for other business, Rebecca? I think so. All right.
That's all I have.
Scheduling our next PPW meeting. Sherry, have you identified a few possible dates?
Well, it is up to the board of directors whether you want it in August or September. That would be, in years past, we've either had it late August or sometime in September. Do you all have a preference?
I am gonna be traveling from the 1st of September till like the 10th of September. So,
I'm
I
going
mean, I can,
to suggest late August because when I look at the meeting schedule, that second week, it's kind of crazy.
yeah.
So
We've got-
what about the 20th of August? That's usually, you all usually do a Tuesday. Tuesdays tend to be a good day for
Okay.
everyone.
I'm good with 20.
Can our secretary attend? Is her schedule open?
Yes.
I can do
All
it.
right. So let's do August 20th at 10 a.m. and that's a Tuesday.
Perfect.
Okay, we have reached the end of our agenda, so there being no further business, I'm going to adjourn the meeting today. Thank you very much for attending.
Thanks to everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.